Hi friends, welcome to Cooking with Sanjay, my new cooking show on YouTube. Today I'm going to be cooking chicken marsala, spicy green beans, and a single cheese fettuccine. I'm cooking for my family. They're coming over for dinner this evening, and I'm going to be showing you some easy tips and tricks to follow while making this recipe. Pretty minimal ingredients and full of flavor, and it'll be delicious and amazing. So follow along and enjoy my video. Thank you. So I'm just going to start with dicing up some shallots. I have 4 shallots. They're pretty big, and I'm gonna dice and lightly paste some garlic. So you can watch me do that. So here's a pretty good tip. I'm gonna leave this side on of the shallot because I want it to stay together when I'm chopping it or dicing it. Just run your knife through the middle like this, and then make really nice even lines through the shallot like so. And then just do your verticals. The whole reason why you want to do this is because you want these the shallot to cook at the same time, the same speed, and yeah, and that's about it. Right. Three more to go. Another tip, if you're having, like, for whatever reason, having problem like getting your knife to go through the shallot, just lightly moisten the edge with water, and the water will help it glide through easier. And just be careful, you know, with your fingers. Yeah, and then, you know, repeat the process. Alright guys, so I have, I just chopped up a fine dice of these shallots, 3.5. I did 3.5 because they're ginormous. Like literally, I'm saying they're ginormous. And now I have two. I have a couple of these packages of cremini mushrooms because the cremini mushroom is a it's a little. I like the flavor a little bit more than a button mushroom or a I think white button mushroom, something like that. Anyway, these are pretty nice. They have a nice flavor and they saute really well for the chicken marsala. I'm just gonna lop off this thing right here because it's a little bit woody. I don't want to be eating woody stems of the mushroom stick thing. If you know what it's called, let me know. And I'm just gonna chop them, not fine, just straight. Do a straight chop so they're not thin, but not super thin because they do shrink when they cook. Just be aware of that, and then yeah, we're getting there. I guess these edges are looking kind of suspect, so I'm just gonna slice as closely as I can. I gotta go turn my burner down. Alright, so I've got 4 cloves of garlic here, and I'm just going to add a little bit of kosher salt. That is going to aid in the breaking down of this garlic, and the crystals will help help with the pasting process. So I'm just gonna do a rough chop, and then I'm gonna paste with the side of the knife. This is what I mean with the pasting. And if you need a little bit more salt to help break it down, then do it. I recommend it. Right. You can see how it's breaking down. This way, when we cook it with the mushrooms and the shallots, it will just melt away inside of the mixture of, it will just melt away, and yeah, that'll be a really nice mixture there. Alright, so I got my heat on medium here. Just gonna test to see if it's hot enough with a little bit of water. If you just go like this with a little bit of water, it's not gonna fly up on you and like burn you. So that's what I do. I need to put some more oil in the pan, so just using extra virgin olive oil. Put about that much. Yeah, that looks good. Alright. That sounds good. Put this in here, like so. And we're going to cook this for basically until the oil, until the liquid disappears. A bunch of liquid probably will come out of the mushrooms somewhat. You want that, and you want to brown these mushrooms. I know that they're brown, but you need to brown them cooking brown. All right, so I got my heat is on medium high. I have an electric stove, so it's 1 is the lowest and 9 or 10 is the highest, and I'm actually on 7 right now. So my mushrooms are they're getting brown, and they're looking really nice. There's still quite a bit of liquid in the pan here. I need to turn the fan on because it's getting kind of hot. So just stir it around. If you can do the flip thing, then do the flip thing. I'm not going to because I don't want to get mushrooms on the floor, but turn that up a little bit more. Get this stuff, let's get this heat up so that the moisture goes away. Okay, I have some thyme here. I'm going to just strip off some thyme and drop it into the pan so that it starts adhering to the flavors of these mushrooms. So it starts smelling really nice and fresh. Just like that. If you want, you can just pull off the thyme. You can throw the stick in there, or you can put the stick in the mushrooms itself. The choice is yours. I don't really like the stick in there, so I take it out. But if there's one in there by accident, it's not gonna kill you. Nothing's gonna happen. All right, yeah, these are looking good. So when your mushrooms are at this color, then you want to add in your shallots and your garlic. And I already have my shallots and my garlic together here, so I'm just gonna drop it in and let these 4 ingredients start to combine. Get these flavors in here. Get the garlic down here in the bottom of the pan. Stir it around. And cook these shallots down. Cook the mushrooms down. It's really flavorful and smells super fragrant in here right now. Now I turned off the heat because everything's looking brown. Shallots are browned, maybe a little bit too brown. Anyway, I'm just gonna take it off the heat for a moment here because it's still cooking. It's extremely hot. So now I'm gonna take my MARSALA wine, and it's a fortified wine, so it's going to turn into a really nice glaze. So just kind of spread this out a little bit, and make sure your heat is off. If you incorporate this while the heat is on, depending on your stove and all that, you could possibly end up with a ball of fire. And nobody wants that. So just add like about that much alcohol to your mushrooms. Now give it a good stir. Okay, so I got the pan. The pan is back on. The pan is back on in the medium range, only because more moisture decided to come out of. Well, it's part of the wine MARSALA wine. But anyway, it smells amazing. So now I'm just ready to season it. I'm just going to season it with some kosher salt and pepper. It's the last thing you want to do. And the reason why it's the last thing you want to do is because the way the mushroom is, if you add the salt to the mushroom beforehand, it's gonna release a whole bunch of moisture into your pan, and you don't want that. This whole time we've been trying to get rid of the moisture. So I'm just adding a few teaspoons of the kosher salt. I have my handy pepper mill right here, so I'm just going to add some pepper. I'm going to actually turn the heat on the stove off because the residual amount of heat that's in the pan is going to help just burn off that extra liquid. And I'm just going to give it a quick stir. And then I'm going to take it out and put it into my bowl here, just to sit for a while. Then we're going to move on to the next step of cooking the chicken. All right, so I'm going to cook now my chicken breasts in this other pan. So let's just switch this out of the way. And for now, I'm just gonna put this in the stove because we're going to use it again later. Alright, so here I'm taking out, I've got some all-purpose flour, and I'm going to take about a cup, maybe a cup and a half. I have a little less than a cup, but that's okay, because I don't really need too much. Anyway, I'm going to take my flour, and I'm going to move it around a little bit. I'm going to season my flour with some kosher salt and pepper. I've got my trusty Owl salt dispenser. I'm just going to take, some salt here, drop it in the flour, the pepper too. Okay. Alright, now I've got some organic chicken breasts they're actually really nice. They're really clean. I'm just taking off a little bit of fat here. You can remove it if you want to, you don't have to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice it down the middle, just so that basically it opens up like this, so you have a thinner chicken breast to work with, and that way these will all cook at the same time instead of being like one extra thick on the edge and the other one, the next one being extra thin, so on and so forth. Yeah, so that's all I'm doing here. Just go real carefully down the middle. Make sure your knife is extra sharp, and you'll be safe that way. I'm just going to cut this little thin thingy off, and then use the knife. Get off this fat. Alright. So now we've got our chicken breast all opened up, looking all thin and nice. So I'm just going to take my flour that I just that I just created, took it out of the thing. You're going to want to dredge these chicken breasts, like really, really nicely. Make sure that they're coated like super well. So basically just go like this, massage it in there, push down like all the edges, flip it over, repeat on the other side, shake off the excess, set it in the plate, and repeat with the other ones. Okay? Just that easy. After you have these, after you have the flour on these, and you have them all on your plate, you can spread them out like so, and we're just gonna lightly dash these with some of the kosher salt. It'll just give it extra flavor. It's not going to add a ton of saltiness to it. It actually, I don't think it'll taste salty at all. I think it'll just bring out the really nice flavors of the chicken without adding this overly salty taste. All right. I didn't need that much. I didn't need more than maybe even a half a cup of flour for the chicken breast. So anyway, got our chicken breast here. Look pretty nice. Take the take the salt, the kosher salt. I'm just gonna like go over. You can go over each one individually if you want to, like so, or you can do it all like at the same time. Just be sure that you're coating them pretty nicely, and you don't really need that much. All right, so we're back over here now. I'm turning my my heat on the stove to medium high. I'm gonna add a generous amount of the olive oil to the pan because we have all those chicken breasts to cook. So I'm using this this cocotte by Staub because that's what I have. If you have a deeper frying pan that you'd like to use, then use that. But I'm using what I have. Alright, oil is looking hot enough. It's bubbling up, so I don't have to do the test method. I'm just going to slowly drop these in. Don't drop them in, just slowly place them into your hot oil. Because we're just going to cook these so they are slightly brown, but they're not completely brown. Because we're going to add them back into the mixture with the mushrooms, and then they're going to continue to cook that way in the liquid with the chicken stock that we're going to add later on in the process. I'm going to wait for that one. The pan is already looking kind of over crowded. I don't want to crowd this chicken like too much. Alright. These are getting, they're starting to brown. You can see. I mean, they're looking kind of white, but still. But I don't, like I said, I don't want to cook them too much. And this is looking pretty good. Maybe a little bit more brown on each side, but they'll be really tasty when they come out of the braising mixture. Plus, I feel like the oil is just coming to temperature now, so it's okay. Alright, those look perfect. So, let's turn the heat back off. Take the marsala wine again. We're going to deglaze the pan with the marsala wine. So, slowly in. Take our spoon and scrape off any bits that are in the bottom of the pan, so they will combine with the marsala wine, so we can create our sauce that goes with the mushrooms and the chicken and all that goodness right there. Now we're gonna turn the heat back on to high. I'm just gonna add a little bit more marsala wine, because you can't have too much wine, right? Alright, so I have a cup and a half. I have 1 cup of chicken stock I'm going to add to this mixture after it comes to a boil. Stir it up a little bit. Okay. Now just add your mushrooms back in slowly. Slowly so they don't splash and burn you. Okay. Stir this around. Look at that. That looks amazing. If you'd like to taste your sauce, please go ahead and do so now. That tastes nice. I think the salt content is perfect. The pepper, the marsala brings a lot of flavor in there. That's really nice. Now we're just going to want to turn the heat down so it simmers really nicely. And then we're going to add the chicken into this mixture now too. So I've got this on, I have it medium low. I've got it on medium low. Give it a stir. Now add the chicken. Add the chicken back in there. And when you put the chicken in there, cover it up with the liquid. So it's going to continue to cook inside of this mushroomy liquid marsala. And it'll be incredible when it's done. This is how I like to cook it, because then you have a little bit extra mushroom gravy. And it's gonna continue cooking in this mushroom liquid. And that's exactly what we want. We want it to look like that. And you're going to want to continue cooking until the coating, until the sauce starts to coat the chicken. Meaning it's going to start thickening up. It's going to start thickening up, and it's going to start coating the chicken. Similar to a gravy. You see what I mean about the sauce coating the chicken? That's looking really awesome. Now let's just take some more time. Pull it off with the stick and add it in here. Just going to give it a little bit more flavor and kicks, and it'll be really, really nice. looks really good. A little bit more salt. More pepper. Yep. Stir. And that looks perfect. And that's exactly what you want to see. And I got a pot of water here. I'm gonna boil it. Comes to a boil. I'm gonna put these noodles in here and cook it for 8 minutes. And that's it. So my salted water is boiling rapidly. Oops. And I have my noodles here that I'm gonna add in. Best way to put these in, don't break them or anything, just put them like this, go like this a little bit, and they'll all spread out a little bit nicely like that. And then you can grab a tool, I've got one of these to just push your noodles down and submerge them in the water. Now I'm going to set a timer for 8 minutes. I'm going to stir this around so that they don't end up sticking together. Okay? Cool. Now just let them do their thing. I'm going to put a wooden spoon over this thing because for some reason every time I do that the bubbles don't overflow. So that's that for now. Here's my timer. Handy dandy frog timer. Go to 8 minutes. Start. Alright, noodles are done. It's been 8 minutes, and I just put about a tablespoon of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil in there in order to just kind of get it so it doesn't stick together. And now I have this Parmesan cheese that I'm going to grate. I have some from the other day, so I'm just going to grate up to the rind and add that into the spaghetti. That's about it. I got a fork here. I'm just going to stir it up. So now we have a really nice, cheesy, beautiful, delicious, homemade Parmesan spaghetti. If you want to add a little bit of parsley in here and you have it, please go right ahead and do so. It'll just add make a little bit more flavorful spaghetti. You can use fettuccine noodles, you can use spaghetti noodles, if you want to do linguine noodles, just, you know, use whatever you have on hand. You don't have to get some kind of special noodles or anything. And that's about it. Thank you for joining me. Alright, so I'm back. I actually had some parsley in the fridge, so I decided to take a small handful and chop it up so I can add it to my spaghetti. Chop it up very finely like that. Sprinkle it into your spaghetti like so. Give it a stir. That makes for a really nice spaghetti. And you can use this with anything. You can use it with the chicken marsala, for example.